Live. I just saw the private chat. Hey guys, welcome to our new podcast, Campus Odds and Ends. Welcome back after our rookie season last year, where we were kind of trying to figure things out on the end. Hopefully, this season we'll be a little bit more. I want to say professional because we're definitely not professional. You see Jacob's shirt, enough of us trying to point that out. But this is week one college football. It's been a hiatus since Michigan beat the crap out of Washington in the national championship back in January. Welcome back. We had week zero. We're going to talk a little bit about Florida State and Georgia Tech, what the hell happened in Dublin. In addition to that, we got 8 games on the docket to choose from. We're going to change it up a little bit, but before I get into that, I'd like to welcome back the boys, Jacoby, Ryan, goes by
What's up?
Davies, and Buchanan. I guess everybody's just choosing their last names on the right side of the screen. All right, fellas, welcome back. How are y'all today?
Doing pretty good, man.
It's good.
Nothing happened last weekend that would have upset me at all.
No
Right.
upsets. None.
Yeah, all favorites won.
If you ask some of us.
Well, we're gonna get to the action. There was 4 games last year. All 4 games, as far as like just the competitive side of it, all the games were pretty good. Obviously, other than the Hawaii and Delaware State, the other 3 were surprisingly close. SMU needed a pretty big comeback to get their W. Montana State did a crazy comeback on New Mexico to get that dub. And obviously, Georgia Tech with the big upset on Florida State in Dublin. Brian, since you're the passion of the two of us for the nose, I'm going to let you start off on your opinions of that game and your thoughts of what you saw of Florida State and the disappointment of not getting the dub.
Well, unfortunately, for our opening game, for Florida State's opening game, I kind of saw everything I didn't want to see. I saw bad tackling on the defense, especially up on the defensive line, which you've got guys like Cairo coming back from last year who have been such sure tacklers. Figured that run game would not have stood a chance against that front seven, but no. I saw shoulder tackles. I didn't see anybody wrapping up. Nothing. Bad tackling. Offense, we saw good old DJU. Wasn't throwing over the middle. Always throwing on the slant or to the outside. Really, really milking those flat routes. I mean, the few times he did actually go over the middle, they were darts, and they would go for decent yardage. He had that 17-yarder on 4th and 6, but that man is just afraid to throw into coverage, which does not bode well for this season. He needs to get over that. And the last thing that really upset me was there was a lot of, in my opinion, questionable calls. Went for it on 4th down a lot. Didn't always work out for us. There was that 4th and 6, I think, on the 35 or 37. Our kicker easily could have made that field goal. Look, if you're in no man's land, that's one thing. You don't know whether to punt or whether to kick. But we got a guy who kicked 2 50-yarders already. Why are we going for it on 4th and 6 in our own territory? Made no sense to me. So, just not what I wanted to see. First game back against an opponent that, honestly, Florida State really, really should have handled fairly easily.
All right, Jacob, I gave you the floor. Your thoughts on this game?
Ryan has got it pretty pinned. Defensively, it was not the Florida State team I thought that was going to show up. I mean, give hats off to Georgia Tech. They're doing a fantastic job over there. They're not the same Georgia Tech we're used to, that's for sure. As far as offensively, I mean, DJ didn't do a horrible job. He didn't throw a pick, didn't, jeopardize them. He had 1 or 2 passes over, I think, 10 yards, which 2 of them were on 4th downs. But I just think defensively, it wasn't ready. But we'll see down the road. I mean, week 1, we'll see how y'all do the rest of the season. And you just got defensively, I think, is where the issues are at as far as Florida State goes. Georgia Tech, I think, offensively, they can keep this up. They're going to have a lot of teams on the ropes, especially with that run game that they got.
Okay. How about you, Matt?
I will bring out real quick
Go ahead.
that on defense, those were 11 new starters.
10.
10? Who is the non?
Peyton was a starter last year. Then
Okay.
I guess technically 9. You want those Cypress, but you kind of play like a nickel.
Cypress was a big, yeah.
But all right. How about you, Matt?
Florida State's coaching cost them. Wasn't DJ. DJ is DJ. You've seen it for 3 years now as a starter. He's not a 5-star. Don't care what everybody has him as. You know, he has a cannon of an arm. See it every time he throws one out of bounds. Takes people out in the stands. Got a cannon. Should have been a closer for a baseball team. Probably would have made more money in the long run doing that. Florida State's run game has how many top running backs? Y'all know?
At least
They
4.
got depth at running back.
Yeah.
And that if you look at these rushing stats, 98 yards rushing. If you have a quarterback that can't throw, slants, more than 10 yards, give him the running back. I mean, you saw Georgia Tech. Quarterback, isn't the best thrower. What did he do? Ran for 100 yards. DJ's not going to do that, but Florida State should have ran the ball. Florida State looked a little soft in the trenches. Georgia Tech's going to win a lot of games in the trenches with Key being the former offensive lineman. I definitely think they've boosted their O-line. And that first year D coordinator definitely made that defense a lot better, given a lot different looks. You never saw really the same look on defense for Florida State or for Georgia Tech versus Florida State. So I think that was something. Yeah, I mean, your kicker's got 100 yards of kicking and 2 field goals.
Yeah.
You can't take the ball away from him. I mean, he's drilling them, doing the Conor McGregor. He's feeling himself. He's feeling it. So I think Florida State kind of shot themselves in the foot with the play calling and not running the ball more than what they did with DJ.
All right. I guess I'll close it up. My final take. Kind of agreeing a little bit with the Matt take on it. I think this is Mike Norvell and that coaching staff just not showing up, not really being prepared, because that was prepared. Like there was just too many mistakes on both sides. In addition to that, I think you underscored the softness of the offensive and defensive line for Florida State. It wasn't soft; it was a straight disappointment. Both were held as part of being the best in the past 10 years that Florida State has had, at least starting in the offseason, with the experience coming back in the offensive line and just the star power, the defensive lines, and just to get manhandled by players that you should be like just the one-on-one skill set. You should be just better than them. Your talent by itself should like make a play. And the fact that no one could. I was worried about the linebacking corps. I thought that was the weakest unit on the team. I think we never got anybody really to replace the players we lost, and I think it showed a lot of boneheads, mistakes. To be real with it, I'm scared of the Boston College game because you're talking about mobile quarterback. But we see if FSU can get it back on. If not, I'm gonna kind of go back and double down on what I was talking with Matt in the pre-show about hey, bench DJ and let some of these young guns get some experience, because I really am big believers on our backup quarterbacks, especially Luke. He's a 5-star true freshman who has a freaking arm out of Savannah. But even Brock, that's one takeaway from the Georgia game last year, that this dude wasn't scared to throw the ball down the field. He was getting his ass kicked, obviously, but hey, man, at least once you take the risk, you can't have 7.1 yards pass average for the entire game with minus what it was -1.
Negative 0.1 in the first half. Airs per
It's
pass.
ridiculous. Like, what kind of game plan? Like, everybody thought the game plan for Florida State offense was run the ball, play action pass down the field. If this team was going to be good this year, we see first game, can't hurt them for it, but was definitely not impressed. But we can leave it in the past. I'm still rocking the shirt. Ryan's still in the passion, and we still got the two haters, Matt and Jacob. But
because I picked Georgia Tech, sorry.
Dang.
But we're gonna get to those guys. We got their team highlight a little bit down the line, but we're gonna get it rolling. Before we do this, get this off the presentation. I need like a producer to do this. I can just focus on talking. Give me a little Asian person. Not be offensive. We do.
And we just got kicked off the internet.
And there goes the podcast.
Like get canceled the whole first 10 minutes of the episode.
All right, and Vaseline pulled their sponsorship.
Oh, never that, dog. We here. Always and forever.
They can't prove who I am if they can't see me.
We're gonna get into the what you're here for, guys that are watching the show. The bets. We're gonna do a little different this year. I thought on this for a little minute, and quite honestly, I'm being quite frank. I completely forgot that I was supposed to try to record this today because I had a fancy football draft later. I was kind of prepping for, but we here. I did come up with this. My mom said we're gonna change the rules this year. Last year we chose teams based on either the money line, the spread, or the over under that was provided. This year I was like, you know what? Make these guys do some goddamn work. We're here to make you money if you're watching this. That's supposed to be the goal of the show. That's the end game. So I want the best possible bets based on the perspective for what these guys believe or how they bet. Some of the rules we have for the audience, so you know where we're picking these bets on. We do have a range of bets. You can't choose heavy favorites. So I think if you want to agree, minus 150 is the highest I feel like you should go. Honestly, you probably can break it down a little bit lower than that as we go forward. But at least for this episode, that was the criteria. In addition to that, you could do over under points total. Right, you want to do about quarter, half for the entire game. Same with the spread. Same with the money lines too. We're trying because for some of the games we have up, and how college football is on week one, it can get pretty wild. Expecting some big upsets. We won't know where they're going to come from, but we'll see where it goes. One more disclaimer. Got to say this. No, since this is a little bit of a business. Legal sports betting is not allowed here in South Carolina. This is for fictional purposes only. Apply only. Please regard to your rules and regulations of the state you currently reside in. With that being said, we're going to start.
If you have a gambling problem, please contact 1-800-GAMBLING.
1-800-GAMBLING. God, we support. Campus Ends. We're supportive for that.
I might tag them.
That'd be in the line. I have that in the description.
Yeah, if you have a problem, please contact. It's a business. You got to cover. Come on, Nick.
And Vaseline,
you have that number.
There, we got Vino as a backup sponsor potentially. So look out for that. We out here like to keep our skin moist.
Don't forget, white people, you can get ashy too.
White people can't get ashy.
Yeah, my knees, man. My knees.
It's fine. You can be creaking. With that said, we're going to start with Matt's favorite team. We got North Dakota State traveling up to Boulder, Colorado for prime Thursday night. Colorado, 9.5 point spread. North Dakota State, FCS powerhouse. Hasn't been at the crazy top. They're still a pretty talented team. Matt, you're going to lead us on the way with Coach Prime and the Bucks. What you got?
I mean, everybody knows Prime. They got a quarterback. They got a receiver. Hell, I might even say they have an entire offense. They don't have an offensive line there, or they didn't. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. They transfer so much, it's hard to keep track of who's there, who's not. Defensively, I still don't trust them because, well, you got backups from everywhere. They're not proven. North Dakota State did get their old head coach back when they were those national champions. He came back from Wyoming as the offensive coordinator. You know what? Just to keep it, I'm going to take North Dakota State in the points. Give me Colorado to cover. Just because first game, I'll go weird.
This guy.
It's the first game, man. Colorado's going to look like world beaters, and then we're going to ask if they would beat LSU, 2019 LSU, and then they'll never win another game again. So,
exactly.
All right, I'm gonna get you those odds at minus 115, which would be the best odds. Come out bet MGM. You work with that?
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, Ryan, how about you, buddy? What you got for us?
Shadur Sanders could be the first overall pick. That's what some people are saying. Hunter's probably going to be a top 10 pick as well. I mean, you got talent in Colorado for sure, but North Dakota State, they're not afraid to play anybody. They've beaten extremely talented teams at home before. Different regime, I get that. Kleiman's down at Kansas State now, I think, but the mentality of North Dakota State is still there. When they play at the FBS level or against FBS opponents, they come to play.
6-1 their last 7 games against the FBS.
6-1. That's wild. And just like last year, most of Colorado is going to be a brand new roster. Whole bunch of new guys who want to, like Matt said, come prove themselves, even though they weren't able to do it at their last school. If I'm putting money down, I'm taking North Dakota State for the upset.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
I contemplate it because that's going to be a good.
I think it's going to be a hard lesson for Dion real quick. But it might work out in their favor. I think if Colorado loses his first game, barrel down, come out harder, first year back in the Big 12, I think some of the opponents like Kansas State might have to be a little concerned.
All right, gotcha, man. I'm gonna give you plus 330. That's on FanDuel Sportsbook, best line. That's some money right there, bro. So for my listeners, before I let Jacob speak right quick, kind of just to explain, we are using American odds. If you've never done betting or understand the concept of betting, quick reference for it. If it's a heavy favorite, anything minus 100, minus 200, those are based off $100 bets. If you do minus 200, for example, that means you need $200 to win $100 on that bet. The plus odds for Ryan, for example, was plus 330. That means on a $100 bet, he'll take home a profit of plus $330 and take home pay of $430, which will include the bet he made plus the extra money he won off the getting it right. Those are just quick odds and explain. I'll have a description or link for a video for that in the future. Check TikTok. Gang. Go ahead, Jacoby.
All right. Yeah, all the transfers coming in Colorado. I'm still sold defensively with them. We saw that last year after they started hot, but that was mainly due to offense. When they started playing some higher powered offenses, they couldn't keep up. However, going up against North Dakota State, I do think Colorado has the advantage. They have the players that are a little bit better, I think, developmental wise, even though North Dakota has put out some good players recently. But give me Colorado to cover them at 10 or 9. What we got? 9.5.
I'm gonna give it to you at 10.
At
Same
10?
with Matt.
All right, yeah, I see 10 on what I'm looking at. So, yeah, I think week 1 they come in now. Down the road, Colorado, I don't think it's going to stand a chance, but North Dakota, they'll cover that.
I just want to say, you said top tier offenses, but Stanford put 53 on Colorado last year. Stanford wasn't exactly top tier offense.
Hey, how dare you talk about the ACC powerhouse?
I know,
now?
right? Disrespect the ACC.
They're
Hey,
at
I'm
least
mad at
number
them.
16
I'm mad
in the
at them right
conference
now.
right now. Okay.
Number 16. That was a low blow.
Can't argue that one.
I know because I'm down here.
All right, I guess I'll throw my quick thoughts. Colorado, North Dakota State. I think Colorado's going to pull away, but I think that game is going to be tight in the first half. You know, you have entire off season. For North Dakota State, this is probably the biggest game in their schedule. They don't get the most eyes on them, especially from a national perspective because of Coach Prime and Travis Hunter and Shadur over in Boulder. But we're here to make money. This is what I'm focused on because I'm here for you guys, the fans. I'm not here to please and win and compete against these low lights over here on this podcast.
You lost last
So
year.
I'm gonna give you the money bet. And the money bet is first half North Dakota State to cover at plus 6.5 at minus 105 because I'm here for the people. And remember that when I run for election, I made you money. That's my damn slogan.
I thought the
Taking it to
slogan
the
would have
bank.
been the nappiest.
Welcome to the nappy verse, baby. With that being said, check that game out, guys. This will be on the first day, Thursday night games. In addition, there are two other games: Jacksonville State, Coastal Carolina. That's probably be a good one. We were talking about this earlier. North Carolina, Minnesota, ACC Big Ten matchup. With that being said, we're gonna carry over to our next game, another FBS battle. We're going to the South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, taking on Mike Gundy and his DUI club, Oklahoma State. So far, I have Oklahoma State at 9.5. I'm gonna double check that, make sure the odds have probably changed since I typed this. With that being said, Jake, I'm gonna let you start with this one. What's your thoughts on this game?
Well, South Dakota State, they've back-to-back champions. They should have been a repeat. However, the quarterback got injured. Gronkowski, I believe, is the quarterback, but he's been there his whole career. He's won 2 national championships, going for his third. And interesting fact about them, they get fed by all the local ranchers. Found that out. So they have an unlimited supply of steak in their facilities, which is pretty cool, in my opinion. No wonder he didn't want to leave. But Oklahoma State, I had them possibly as a dark horse pick. I don't have as much confidence in their quarterback in Bowman. He had 14 picks last year. But Gordon as a running back, if he can step it up, he had 1,700 yards, ton of touchdowns. But I'm going to give South Dakota State the edge on this and to go ahead and knock Oklahoma State out of the running, I think, in the beginning. So, yeah, give me South Dakota State outright on this one.
Let's go. I'm talking about we're here to make money, guys. That's the theme. Make this bread and get you plus 300 on that.
All right. Are
All
you
right.
putting in a spread again?
Huh?
Are you putting these on a spread sheet again?
Yeah, I'm putting these on the spread. I'm gonna give you all access once I figure out the formula and all that
Gotcha.
to it for it. All right, Ryan, what's your thoughts?
I mean, Jakey's not wrong, man. South Dakota State, probably one of the better FCS squads right now. This Oklahoma State team's a little different. He brought up Ollie Gordon. Gordon's a beast, man. He's going to run all over. We don't got to worry about Bowman because Bowman's not really going to be throwing. It's week 1. They're going to let the run game do its thing, build some confidence up on that offensive line. Oklahoma State, I think, is my favorite right now to win the Big 12. New division, they got a relatively easy schedule. They're probably the most successful team left in the Big 12 from the original anyway. I think it would be a big season if they just came right out, smashed everybody in the mouth, took that Big 12 championship this year. And I think they're going to get rolling, started with that, taking down South Dakota State, getting ready for the season, working out the last of the kinks. I'm going to take Oklahoma State all the way. 9.5. I'm taking them at halftime. I'm taking all those bets for OK State right now.
All right.
In fact,
Is he going to be a bandwagon Oklahoma State now? He's got a shirt or something.
Got a prop over here?
Yeah. He's going to go get his Pokem stuff? Like, where's he going? You got a phone finger or something?
Come out dueling.
Yeah, like no guns are allowed. I told you it's going to be in half.
Let's go. Shout out to our Big 12 fans. Ryan's a supporter.
Let's go Cowboys, baby.
You got to grow a mullet, bro.
Yeah, poke them.
Well, all right, Matt, what's your thoughts of this game?
I mean, they've kind of reached on it. Ollie Gordon is going to be in the Heisman running. Bowman, however you pronounce it, he's back. They got their two leading receivers back. South Dakota State hasn't lost since 2022. I believe it was like September of 2022. So that's 29 straight. Give me 30 straight come Saturday and give me South Dakota State money line. I got to take that plus 290, which means I'm going to lose because Jacoby took it. So thanks, Jacoby.
First of all, I'm the reigning champ.
By what, like 4 wins?
Yeah, barely.
Hey, we went by
We
one.
missed like half the season. Camera issues is the weirdest thing. But no, give me that plus 290. I just got to take the chance on trying to triple that money up.
Gotcha. I get you at plus 300.
Okay.
Actually, with Bet Rivers giving the best bets for that. For me, I'm going to probably go with not as confident in South Dakota State to win outright, but I definitely think they can cover. So I'm definitely going to take the spread at plus 10. You get the best odds at minus 105 of that. I think given that they made the Big 12 championship last year, people also forgot that they got spanked by South Alabama 33-7 at the beginning of the season. So it's in Oklahoma State to not show up for whatever reason. They had, I don't know, go cowboy hunting or something, whatever the hell this dude in Stillwater, Oklahoma. But I feel confident.
Hunting? Hold on.
Huh?
Cowboy hunting?
Oh, man. Not cowboy. I don't know what the hell Indians do. Oh, not Indians. What the hell they do out there in
We're just offending everybody today. We're just
hey, man, I gotta
get it out of the way.
I'll be consistent. Trying to cover everybody at least. But once again, that's bet for me. That would be South Dakota State to cover the spread plus 10. I know it's 9.5 on here, but these odds, most of these odds have been consistent at plus 10. So that's what we're gonna roll with. All right. We're going to carry on, man. We got another Big 12 matchup against the Big 10. Penn State taking on West Virginia. Currently, it's 7.5. I'm going to look on the odds board and make sure that's what we're still rolling with. But, Ryan, I'll let you take the lead with this one. What are your thoughts on the Nittany Lions and the Mountaineers?
Mountaineers, man, I don't know what they bring this year. I really don't know anything about their new offense. Coaches and what his... Is this his first year or second year? West Virginia's coach.
They fired Neil Brown?
No, they still got him.
This will go.
Do they still got him?
Yeah, I said Neil Brown's been there like 5 or 6 years.
I thought they got rid of him for some reason. Well, excuse me for that. But Franklin, Penn State, they always play above their weaker opponents. They're not going to play any differently opening week this week against West Virginia. We know what Penn State brings to the table. Big defense, big offensive line. As much as I would love to take that 250 on West Virginia, I can't bring myself to do it. But what I can bring myself to do is take West Virginia at the points at the half.
First half total points?
First half total points.
Gotcha. I guess look at some odds for that. All right, got you in for that. I'm going to look up some odds, see what we can get for that. But I'll let Jacob take over while I'm kind of figured out.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Ryan on this. I'm not up with West Virginia's new year this year. I know last year we were towards the end of the season. We were on them pretty good with. And Matt had them pinned pretty good last year, so it'll be interesting to see
Fighting
his
Neil Brown's baby.
Neil. Yeah, everything was Neil Brown with him last year. Anti Dion and Neil Brown. I mean, Penn State. It's the same story year after year. I think they say they're going to be good, then they're mediocre. You know, they can't just get over that hump. And until they do it, I just can't go with them outright. I'm going to take West Virginia to cover it. McAfee's going to be going crazy. So, yeah, give me West Virginia to cover this one. Even though Penn State will probably milk one out. But going into Morgantown is not an easy task to do. So, week one, you know, the hype's there. So, I think they'll keep it close.
All right. I can get you 8.5 at -110. That works for you?
8.5, yep.
All right, Matt, what's your thoughts?
Cut on the country roads. Just cut it on, and then you can actually stop playing it. Penn State's defense led the country in sacks and tackles for loss last year. I think that allows Drew Aller to throw the ball deep. West Virginia has the trenches to play in this game to make it along towards the end, but I think Aller and that receiving court too good to not cover 7.5, whatever it is right now. Give me Penn State to cover it late.
Cover it late. I give you -8. Make it fair for you for -112. That works for you.
Yep, I'll take it.
And
Not the same West Virginia team that lost to Penn State terribly last year, by the way, but just still not quite there with the fighting Neil Browns.
I agree with Matt. I think I had the same bet. Penn State to cover. Penn State is good at against everybody else but Ohio State and Michigan. So to prove otherwise, I think James Franklin floor is always going to be high. No, it's on the road against West Virginia. I think they will have something to prove because they also got their butt beat. I believe they lost their bowl game. I believe.
I think they did.
I want to say they lost one. I want to say they got stomped.
I got it pulled up right here, I think.
Well, regardless, I'll keep going. But Drew Aller, we have to see you're a 5-star quarterback. It's time to kind of live up to the billing. It's time. Also you have other now. It's going to be a little bit harder because then you have Oregon and SC join the conference along with Washington. So it's like it's going to be a little deeper. You're used to being a top 4 now, and it's not even guaranteed you're a top 14 in your own conference. So, but in this game against the Mountaineers, I think West Virginia just won't hold up in the trenches against them. I think they do a better job. They keep it close, but I think Penn State at least win by 10. Let's go, Nick Lions.
They lost to Ole Miss in their bowl game.
In the bowl game? Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, we're going to the Sunshine State. Big rivalry. We got the Hurricanes of Miami taking on the Gators. Miami's a 2.5-point favorite. As this line stands, let me check the board and make sure that it's actually still the case. But with Jacob, I'll let you take the lead on this one again. What's your thoughts on the Hurricanes and Gators?
Both of these teams are, they're kind of these teams that we're like, hey, when are they going to show back up? I think this might be Miami's kind of show up year. Florida, unfortunately, even if they did have a better squad than last year, they have the gauntlet of a schedule coming up. I mean, that November is just nasty. So they might start 6-0, but they're going to finish 6-6. But I don't think they're going to get past Miami to start. Cam Ward coming in. We'll see how he does in Miami in this offense. But I'm going to take the over on this game though, because I do think that Miami's defensively they gotta make sure they got things going, but offensively I think they'll do pretty good. But give me the over on this.
Gotcha. Gotcha. The over of 54 at minus 110.
All right.
All right. Matt, your thoughts. Canes and the Gators.
I mean, last year they were what 7-6 and 5-7 between the two. That's not a lot to write home about. So it's weird. Miami, the 2.5 point favorite, only a 42% chance of winning per ESPN, which is always funny to look at. Cam Ward versus Graham Mertz. I think I know who I would take pretty highly there is Cam Ward. I think Florida State should have found a couple dollars for him in the NIL game, but we'll leave that alone. Neither one of these defenses hurt anything. Florida hasn't impressed me in about 4 years. Miami always overhyped, it feels like, to start the year, and they go 6-6 and win a bowl game and wash repeat for the spring. It can give me Miami to cover. I'm just going to take Cam Ward over Graham Mertz every day of the week.
Man, man, it's disrespectful.
It's not how this is the 3:30 game. I don't know.
Because of pageantry.
Right.
They don't care. I don't
Football,
care.
baby.
Yeah, woo!
Football in the country.
Yay! We're 12-13 combined last year. Congratulations.
That's two big fan bases too.
Who've been very sad. The whole state of Florida is sad.
They got UCF.
National champions, maybe the most
I'm sure
recent
FAU
ones,
fans are pretty happy lately. I don't know.
Yeah, the most recent ones.
Right.
Maybe
I guess
FIU
that,
with the
Hey, but Pitbull
Pitbull.
saying, oh, FIU. Was it FIU or FAU?
That was I.
There's both.
Okay.
I think it's FIU. You got the Pitbulls in there.
All right. Match, I got you locked in at 2.5 for minus 115 for Miami to cover. Ryan, your thoughts? Your home state.
Home state. Oh, yeah, baby.
Home teams, baby. Oh.
And the two teams I probably hate the most in all of college football. Every year we have to hear it. Like he said, are they back? Is the U back? Is Florida back? Are they going to the next championship? The U is not back. The U is not back. I promise they're not back. Mario Cristobal can't coach his way out of a wet paper bag, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of those in Miami. He is going to get shocked by a Florida team that probably normally wouldn't be beating Miami. But Cam Ward is not used to playing against defensive players that are the size and strength of Florida players. Florida can bring big defense in. Graham Mertz never had the playmakers in Wisconsin that you can acquire down in Florida. Even in Gainesville, you got to have some speed. And we got a head coach in little Freddie there, Fritter, however you say his name. He knows he's already on the hot seat. And like Matt brought up, he probably has the toughest end of the season schedule in the country. The last, honestly, 7 games are miserable. It's absurd that they have to play this schedule. I don't even think they get to 500, but I do think they get a little bit of excitement in the Swamp, which is not an easy stadium to play in. Probably one of the toughest stadiums to play in the country. And Miami's going to go in there. Cam Ward learning a new offense. I get Graham Mertz's too, but if you gave me the two of them, Ward might have the better athleticism. I think Mertz is a more mentally focused quarterback. Has probably picked up the playbook a little more. And Florida has a bevy of running backs that if the passing game ain't working, they can just run it down your throat. I don't think Miami's ready. I think they're going to show up soft. I do think Florida's going to win. But most importantly, the most money I can take out of this game is taking the under on the points. Because I don't see these offenses scoring 53. I don't think that's going to happen. So that's going to be my bet. Let me put my $100 on taking the under on the points.
All right, I can do you one better. I can give you under 54.5 at minus 110.
I'm going to take it.
Let's do it. My quick thoughts on this game. As you see, this is on the team before that matters. Um, but I mean, everybody's talking about the last 7. I mean, the first 5 ain't a guarantee for Florida either. With Texas A&M at home, and UCF at home, so that's like even their non-conference is. Some of the early SEC games are still pretty rough, but I'm gonna believe in Billy Napier a little bit here. I think he's gonna have these boys ready. I think Florida also, as much as they have a hard schedule, they also have opportunity to probably be a 4-loss playoff contender if they can get to 8-4. Give if some of these teams are as good as we think they're going to be. But with this Miami and Florida game, I kind of got to see Miami. Miami's on that tip with Notre Dame, where until you actually do it, I ain't gonna believe you. I don't care who you got and what you got. Some analysts have said Miami has the most talented team in the ACC. I guess we're about to find out. But until I see it, I'm not gonna believe it. So I'm gonna take the Florida money line of plus 126 in this game. I feel the Gators gets the job done in Gainesville. Gang. We're gonna move over until another big rivalry game. Got partial ACC SEC matchup. I got the Catholics in Indiana taking on the Aggies down there in Texas. One of the few top 25 matchups. Notre Dame ranking at 7. Texas A&M, Mike Elko taking over, leaving Duke to go down to College Station. Matt, I'll let you lead off with this one. What's your thoughts on Fighting Irish taking the Aggies?
It's funny, Mike Elko gets to play against Riley Leonard now after Leonard transferred to Notre Dame. So that'll be an interesting matchup. He'll know his weaknesses and strengths really quick, more so than the average coach. Notre Dame, very good defensively. Offensively, we'll see how Riley Leonard adjusts. I really thought that what's the Wake Forest quarterback from last year? I thought he would have been a lot better in this offense, but it proved me wrong. Sam Hartman. I thought he would have been better last year with Notre Dame. Didn't happen. Kind of maybe the same thing with Riley Leonard. I don't really know. Texas A&M loses a little bit on that defensive line with no one going to Ole Miss. Notre Dame loses a couple linemen in the draft and Joe Alt. I'm going to take the under. I just don't think either of these offenses are overly impressive. Notre Dame still does have a very good defense. Just worried about their offense against the SEC defense. So I'm going to take the under on that one.
Gotcha. I can get you 46.5 minus 108.
Yeah.
Pretty good odds right there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Ryan, what's your thoughts? What should take next?
I mean, first of all, Matt took my point. Yeah, Elko versus Riley. That's interesting, man. I really like that. That was a good little footnote there.
I try some days.
Some days. I do think Elko could be a good fit at Texas A&M. I think he's got a very good mind for the game. Notre Dame, though, I think they're going to have a whole lot more talent. I know that Texas A&M has been recruiting as one of the best schools lately, but the output that we've been seeing out of those players is not what they were billed as coming out of high school. Notre Dame coach was already there last year. Everyone was thrilled that he had a fairly successful first season taking over after Brian Kelly left. I think he builds on that this year. I do think Riley is a bit more of a talented quarterback than Hartman was last year. So Notre Dame, I think I'm going to have some faith in them going down and winning at College Station. I know that's a hard place to play too, just like the Swamp, one of the loudest places around. But when you got a guy like Riley who can audible well, read defense as well, has good arm talent, and I believe one of the most senior offensive lines in college football, that's build for success. Let's
Did
see.
have an injury on that O line though.
Did they? I missed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Oh.
they lost one of their tackles.
Yeah, a massive injury.
Really?
I think he's out for the year.
Right.
That tackle was a projected top 5 pick.
Yeah, I think he's
I
out
think
for
his
the
name
year.
was Charles
Damn.
I can't remember his name. I know
Yeah.
he's out for the year.
And they
Oops, I'm not
See,
saying
that is big because they lost all last year to the
Yeah.
to the
They did Purdue transfer in. I think who's stepping in for him, so it won't be some guy out of high school.
But I'm still confident in Notre Dame. Let's see that all the way. I think is at 140. So I'm gonna take Notre Dame all the way.
140. I get you that.
Hey, and just quick side note, since we just came off of Miami, Al Golden is leading this Notre Dame defense, but yet Miami never had a defense. It's wild, just on how much better he is at Notre Dame than he was at Miami. Sorry.
For those who don't remember, that man got the rawest deal by Miami ever. Hired the guy and then let him find out through the news that they were getting hit with NCAA sanctions.
He was paid handsomely. It's fine.
Yeah,
My goal was just to be a Power 5 coach to get fired.
Hey, man, that's a quick way to become a millionaire. Jacob, go ahead, man. What's your thoughts?
Obviously, the topics, Leonard, I think with Notre Dame last year, I think when I was looking up last year's numbers, Notre Dame didn't have a receiver over 400 yards or over 500 yards, I believe it was, from what I looked at. So they had a couple transfers in. They had Collins from Clemson come in, 2 other transfers. So hopefully Riley will have some receivers he can throw to. But going forward with A&M, I just think Notre Dame going into College Station, new system, going against the former coach. I think if Elko can put a defensive scheme together against Leonard because he's used to him, I think that gives him the advantage. So give me Texas A&M to pull this one off. I'm seeing 3 right now, but we got it marked at 2.5. So whatever one's fine with me though.
Your best bet as far as the odds will probably be. I've seen 3, but I also seen 2.5 at 120.
Yep.
You take that? That cool with you?
Yeah, I'll take 2.5 at 120. Yeah.
All right. Get the end before I go. Give you the best pick, the money maker Nick over here, for Floyd Mayweather. Kind of the piggyback on the offensive line for Notre Dame. I think kind of a little bit downplaying how big of a significant injury that lineman they're losing, Charles Jackwich. I'm not saying names, not trying to fit any more people out here. Jacob, what are you doing over there?
What?
Sitting sideways. Come on, Paul Wall.
What the heck?
Hey, Jacob. I hate trying to throw people off their bets.
I don't know what just happened. That was weird.
But I'm gonna take Texas A&M to cover. Mike Elko is a. Y'all see me?
No.
Nope.
Oh, that's gone too now. Well, it's just the Jacob and Ryan show.
I just wanted to be like Nick, who's always he leaves mid episode every time. Every freaking time he leaves. Where'd he go?
Never fails.
Yeah, never ever.
He just leaves us here to talk about nothing because it's always in the middle of his go.
It's always in the middle. Whenever he has to talk, he's like, "Oh, let me click out." And now we wait. And, while you're watching this, he figures out his computer, and
So until
he's
he gets
supposed
back.
to be the technological advanced one.
Hey, I still hear y'all motherfuckers.
Great. I don't care. We can't see you.
There's nothing we wouldn't say to your face, Nick.
I mean, stop using. I know we're sponsored by Vaseline, but put it down.
I mean, sometimes you just get that urge.
It's off the Zoom call, man.
Yeah.
I have to figure out my camera. I don't know what's going on with that.
The guy.
I go off screen a little bit. I think Mike Elko is going to figure out a game plan. I think also people keep forgetting this Texas A&M team is actually still pretty talented given the things they went through with Jimbo Fisher and all the craziness Jimbo did down there with his guaranteed $70 million.
Bum.
Just want to be fired one time. That's it.
Right, but I think one thing we're overlooking is that the defensive line of Texas A&M is going to eat up Notre Dame in the trenches. Offensively, it's kind of will be the big question mark for Texas A&M. If you also look at their schedule, they probably have one of the best favorable schedules. They miss Alabama and they miss Georgia, and I believe Oklahoma in the regular season. So I think they have a shot. If you want to take a shot and maybe getting a surprise berth in either SEC championship or even the playoff, this would be a good step forward, especially if you can get a good win over Notre Dame in your home stadium. So give me Texas A&M to cover against Notre Dame at also minus 120. I'm along with Jacob on that. All right, we got 3 more games on the docket, guys. Halfway there. We're kind of doing them a little bit slower than I like, but we're getting there. We had to talk about Florida State for a little bit, so I kept that in mind. But we're going to go to another SEC Big Ten matchup going down in the Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. We got the LSU Tigers -4 taking on the Trojans of Southern Cal. Top 25 matchup. Ryan, let's start us off with this one. What's your thoughts?
Big Ten.
Trojans and the Tigers.
South California is in the Big Ten. Southern California, whatever. Well, as far as these two teams go, neutral field, a little bit close to California, but LSU is not a team that's shy from playing away games or playing in big stadiums. Played Florida State and Dallas last year. I think that squad's probably a little more accustomed to the big lights, big atmosphere. But Southern Cal, they're coming into their 3rd year with Riley, I believe, right? 3rd year with Southern Cal. I mean, he might have benefited a little bit from taking over Bob Stoops, Oklahoma, getting a few players, getting his name out there in Oklahoma. But I do think he's got a good mind for offensive football. I think with his new transfer out of Kansas State, right?
Yeah.
Kansas State quarterback, who we did see able to throw for 3,000 yards last year. I believe 30 touchdowns as well.
Not starting, by the way.
Not starting?
Mm-mm.
You're kidding me.
Miller Moss is the starter.
Yeah, Mel Moss, yeah, they got announced.
No kidding. That actually changes a whole lot for me.
Yeah, Miller Moss, the 3-year backup, is the starter.
Wow. Well, I'd like to say that Riley knows what he's doing, but I was really betting on a quarterback I knew and had seen succeed somewhere else. I don't know much
really
about
good in the bowl game. Looked really good in the bowl game.
He did look really good in the bowl game. Surprised he's not starting. I'm still going to take Riley. I think Riley's going to bring Southern Cal at least to a competitive point this year. Maybe even skim the edges of a playoff berth. Maybe land into one of the low seeds, somewhere between 8 and 12. I think Southern Cal, despite being in the Big Ten for the first time, find some success, and I think they started here against LSU. So that 155 money line looked real sweet, and I'm going to take Southern Cal on the upset.
Gotcha. I can get you 165.
165 it is.
All right. Jacob, what's your thoughts?
Well, I don't know if y'all have seen this line going. It's been crazy. It's been going down, even though all the money's going to LSU. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I think LSU is losing Daniels. They do have a backup who's been there for a couple years, the same as USC's. So he's been in the program, been in the system. USC, last year with Caleb Williams, obviously we know about all of that. Replacing him is going to be tough. I do know that. I can't bet on USC. USC hasn't been relevant to me since Reggie Bush played Bears, in my opinion. So give me LSU to take this one, and they'll cover.
Gotcha. Get you that minus 112 at 4.5. All right,
Which, by
Matt.
the way, this line went from 6 to 4,
Yeah, it's been
and all the money's going to LSU though. So I don't understand what's going on with that, but I'm still taking LSU.
I think the money's going at the
I
money
think somebody
line.
just
But I think the
somebody just
spread.
bet a huge amount on USC and is skewing it.
They're saying 87% of the money is going to USC actually to cover this game.
Yeah, but this is a much bigger letdown than what it would have been last year with Jaden Daniels and
Caleb Williams,
Caleb Williams. That'd been a much better matchup.
better the backups.
Yeah, now we got Miller Moss and Garrett Nussmeier, just like everybody planned. I had on their bingo card for 2024, I hope. Yeah, I don't trust either of these quarterbacks. Miller Moss looked good in his bowl game. Garrett Nussmeier, I've seen very little of. Defensively, I don't trust either of these teams either. So no matter how much new talent they're busting in on offense, I don't care. Give me the over. I don't trust either of the defenses, even though Southern Cal brought in the new DC this year, which, they're a day late, dollar short. She did that last year, maybe had a chance. So, yeah, give me the over because I don't think anybody's stopping anybody.
Gotcha. It gets 64.5 minus 110. All right. Yeah, it's kind of like the weird thing with LSU. They really didn't do anything to improve this defense, which was horrible, putrid last year. And I think Riley's probably going to get more control. He'll probably get some out of Miller Moss. I know, like Ryan saying, he was kind of getting excited with the Kent State quarterback coming over. But give me SC to cover 4.5. I think I'm have at minus 109. I think the Trojans going to do some surprises, and if they can get this big win over the SEC to start the season, they can kind of get Southern Cal on the tip because they have a pretty sure they have a pretty hard schedule. They have to play Oregon, Ohio State, and Michigan. If I remember right, which is it's pretty brutal. So you got to get the W's you can in addition to LSU in a neutral site. But at least, LA's 4 hours from Vegas, so it's a little bit shorter than New Orleans or Baton Rouge. All right, well, we're going to go to our next game of the week. We got Boston College and Florida State, Monday night, Labor Day night. Another nationally televised game, while Florida State keeps that number 10 ranking only because the AP didn't do a poll this week. So we're going to take it. 2 weeks.
Hey, back weeks in the top 10, baby.
Let's go. Add to the record books.
Called a streak.
A losing streak.
Yeah.
Two
in a row. Actually.
Too soon? Oh, God. Here goes Jacoby.
Right?
And he's going to get cooked off in 3, 2, 1.
Jake, I'll let you take the lead on this one. Resident Florida State hater.
You're right.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, after y'all's disappointment last week, honestly, I have no idea what Boston College is going to really look like this year. They have not been on my radar, but they could have did the job last year and knocked y'all off in that game. They should have, so we wouldn't have to listen to y'all all season, but they didn't. Hopefully this year they can. After the way y'all played last week, I think anybody has a shot against y'all. So let's
1 week.
I'm just kidding. But give me Florida State to have a bounce back this week. I do think coming back home, being in Doak Campbell, y'all get back on track this week and cover this.
I need the ability to mute him in the future.
Does he lose 1 point too?
The what?
It's like, what's the horn where you just deduct points?
Yeah. around the horn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get like 6 ticks down. Yeah.
I'm muted at this point. Yeah.
I got you in locked in, Jacob, 15.5, minus 110.
Yeah. Yeah.
This line opened at originally, I think, 17, which was a little bit of a shocker. Matt, I let the other Clemson resident Florida State hater. Yeah, I'm lumping in with Jacob.
Whatever.
Talk to Colorado.
Yeah, I'm a Colorado hater. I mean, make up your mind. I hate
Oh,
everybody.
you definitely, yeah. No, that was your
Everybody.
Fun fact, in case anybody forgot, Bill O'Brien, now the head coach for Boston College. Sorry, maybe you should go in front of me, Ryan. You know, after their head coach left for the Green Bay Packers, Boston College plays everybody so tough, man. They're a gritty team. They try not to just give it away. They're going to make you beat them. Bill O'Brien, he's going to have to build this team up. Boston College won 3 of its last 4 road games, so not that it means anything. It's dating back to last year. Florida State, I think, tries to bounce back pretty big here at home and tries to, get Nick off the edge. He's leaning that way. If he slips on the Vaseline, he's gone. I don't think there are, or maybe, different Vaseline. Florida State, I think they're going to struggle. There you go.
That's too much lotion by a computer. Too much lotion.
And snip that. But wait, there's more if you call in the next 30 seconds.
Never have enough.
Apparently. Florida State struggled last week with the running quarterback. Need to see if they bounce back from that. Give me Boston College to cover just because I don't trust DJ enough to throw the ball, and Boston College is going to try to stop that run game like everybody else is this year.
Where? Gotcha. I'm going to give you a plus 16, minus 110.
Okay.
All right, Ryan, take the floor on the nose.
All right. Well, I think this game will be exactly what last week should have been if Norvell gets back to his magic and his solid play calling and his clock management. If he can get on track, control the run game, let DJ throw when he's comfortable. Maybe he's not totally in with the offense yet. I don't know. He should be. But running down Boston College's throat, it's great that Bill O'Brien's back in college football. I mean, we didn't really ever see the same magic after he took over as GM in Houston. So I hope he gets an opportunity at Boston College to build something, but it's not going to be on day one. Boston College had a bunch of holes. Some of their more talented players transferred out. A few went to the NFL. So they're lacking a bit of the talent they had last year when they won, I think, 6 or 7 games?
Yeah.
Even with the issues that Florida State had last week, they should still be way more talented than this Boston College team. It's a very rare night game in Tallahassee during the week. Normally they have classes, so they can't host football during the week. But because it's Labor Day, they get to have a Monday night football game at home. So it should be fun under the lights. I'm taking that Florida State covering 15.5 at 200.
I get you lower that, man. Get you minus 110.
All right, 110. I'll take it.
For it. All right. To the other resident Florida State fan on the pod. Well, this disclaimer, I think Brian mentioned this earlier, and I'm just going to reinforce that Alec Atkins, which is the offensive line coach / offensive coordinator for Florida State, is suspended for this game. He's suspended for the first 3 games for, I think, a recruiting violation. I think it was the recruiting of
DJU.
No, it wasn't DJU. I think it was the offensive line on is that Georgia who went in the draft. They had him on campus for one day, then he left just to get a bigger NIL deal, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
But with that being said, I'm going to pause on this Florida State team. I really just don't know what to expect. That was a massive letdown because given what Florida State is going through with this lawsuit with the ACC and all the pretty much bad mojo people have been giving Florida State by going away about it, in addition to making a fuss about being left out in the playoffs, you put a most horrible performance you could possibly do with the very first game of college football when all eyes on you, and you just don't show up. I think they rectified it a little bit, but I don't trust them to cover this big of a spread. Don't care if it's BC or not. So I'm going to take the over in this at 49.5 at minus 109. I think some points might be scoring. I have to see if this defense is going to do something. Can you stop a running quarterback? Because if you play NCAA 25, Thomas Thomas gets BC so goddamn good on that game because he is so fast. So we're going to throw some NCAA 25 vibes and hope they put up, a 60-40 scoring on Monday night, Labor Day. I don't think it's going to be the case. I think hopefully Florida State puts 50 by himself, but I'm going to be a little optimistic. With that being said, we do go to somehow it's not the game of the week, given that it's a two top 25 teams with the number one team in the AP poll.
Both recent national champs.
Most recent national champs. But we do got Clemson Tigers and Dabo going down to Atlanta to take on the Bulldogs. I'm going to let me and Ryan give our opinions first so Matt and Jacob can give you that passion stuff. So, Ryan, go ahead and take the floor.
Gladly. So we got a Georgia team. Played somebody in a bowl game last year. I don't remember who. But played them well. That's what Kirby Smart does, man. Kirby Smart's really good at his job. He's really good at what he does. He plays up to his best opponents. And who better to show up against week one than Dabo Swinney hosting them in your own field? You're inside the hedges. You're here to intimidate, show that you're still number one, even though
It's
you're
in Atlanta, not in the hedges.
It's the Falcons, yeah.
Oh, it's in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Man, that's lame. So
Still a home game, basically.
Still-
It's Georgia's
yeah,
other home, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. Oh, that would have been really cool. But prove to him you're number one. You didn't make it to the championship last year. Make them sorry, man. I'm going to take Georgia all the way.
Hell yeah. I'm talking about. I'm going to get you minus 13 is minus 113 or 15. That works for you, sir.
Me.
UGA minus 13. Yeah. Well, I'm going to speak before I let these passionate Clemson fans speak. It's pretty been well documented that Dabo doesn't use the portal. But somehow I got off work last night, working. I had to pick up a shift and work a day I don't usually work on Monday. That's why I'm so thrown off and not having everything prepared today. But somehow a Miami fan showed their face up in the bar, and I have a civil conversation with a Miami fan. I never thought that would be possible in my life, but it was actually not bad. And I told him this, and he didn't like it because he was kind of harping up, hey, this is the year that Miami's going to win the ACC. And I was like, well, the best team in this conference, even before the debacle in Ireland, I thought was Clemson. And I thought the forward Clemson would be either they'd be 9-3 if Cade just doesn't live up to the height, or they can go maybe 11-1 or even undefeated. And given how Florida State looked, that's could be a good chance for that. They got some trap games. But with that being said, this is the best team. They can have the biggest win off the season, off the rip. And I think that Clemson defense is pretty good, man. I think they return a lot. Offensively, I know they're going to be facing Georgia. Georgia got some dogs over there, definitely on their defense. But I feel confident that Dabo is going to have something schemed up. So I'm not going to get Clemson to win because I know that's what it sounds like. No, fuck that. But I will get them to cover. I think 13.5 is a big line. So give me that at 105. I'm gonna take the Tigers. Um, Matt, you're the rational Clemson fan, so I'll let you take the lead first.
If there's such a thing, you're a Clemson fan.
I've improved a lot over the past couple of years. All right.
Yeah, I mean, every time you see him send something in the group chat, it's some TikTok of how Florida State fans should jump off the roof.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
that's only I refrain from sending a lot of them. All right.
Yeah, you sent them to me instead. You're like, I can't send this to the group chat. So, so
It
Clemson
was
has
too soon, all right? And I needed somebody else to appreciate the humor that somebody else did, all right?
Nick, Mike him.
and he lost another point. Clemson has some holes right now. We've got Phil Maffa, and then after that we've got an unproven running back. I don't know why Nick is still like losing his mind over there.
It's me, Jacob.
So-
Didn't realize what was going on.
Defensive line, a little bit. We've got a lot of guys to replace there. Georgia got Carson Beck, probably a top 5 pick in the draft. He doesn't lose his mind and somehow just start throwing interceptions. No Brock Bowers, no Lad McConkey. I do think they are trying to replace those guys on offense. Running back ETN, I think, might miss the game. Kirby Smart will not come out and say it, but he will not deny it. I think he plays, and then he sits them against like Tennessee Tech next week would be my guess, because that's just what Kirby Smart does. With all the liquor and driving and speeding they like to do in Athens.
Clark County, the biggest rival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think both defenses are really good still. I'm hoping to see Cade turn a corner. But I'm going to take the under. I think both defenses play pretty strong, and we don't have quite that repeat of 10-3 that we had a couple years ago, but I don't think that either one of these teams are going to, score 30.
It's actually a pretty good bet. I'll take it. I'll give you 106 at 48.5. All right. And
Unmute it.
is she unmuted? You good? You good? All right. All right, Jacob, you got the floor.
Yeah, so obviously we know Georgia, Carson Beck coming back. ETN transferring there, that was huge for them, I do believe, going forward. But Clemson, defensively, I do think bringing back some of these defensive lines, I know we lost a lot, but we also brought in a lot that played late in the season last year. Got a lot of reps. We got Woods coming back. We got who is the linebacker? I can't remember. Carter coming back. So our front seven, I think, is going to be dominant, just like as normal. Our secondary, I think, might have a question mark or two, but I do think we got some good safeties in there as well.
Are down a corner this game, by the way. Sheldon Lewis is out.
He's out. So that'll come into effect probably. However, I do think our front defensive line, that definitely will put some pressure on Beck. Hopefully, be able to get some sacks early. I know Georgia's offensive line is ridiculous, so we'll see how that matches up. Offensively, Cade, I'm not going to throw him as a dark horse Heisman candidate this year. Did that last year. Learned from my mistake. But hopefully year 3, he's developed a lot more, is able to take a lot from. This is year 3.
Yeah, this year 2 starting.
Yeah, but hopefully he's developed a lot more than we've anticipated. But I think Maffa coming in, we're going to that one back. I think Maffa the more power back when we had who was last year? That Shipley. He I think it just brings a different dynamic. What?
I can tell you, my bad. You're good.
But yeah, I just think Maffa brings a different dynamic to the running game. But we got to find a receiver that's going to step up. So hopefully Wesco or Williams will step up and be that receiver like we've had in the past. Without Justin Ross, we don't have a T. Higgins. We don't have those playmakers on the edge right now. So if we can find one of those, I think we'll end up having a decent season. But I am going to go with Clemson on this upset. I just feel like we can pull this one off. So give me that plus 400, whatever it's at right now.
You get you plus 470.
Should have muted
470.
him right when he said it. Just boop, boop, boop.
Realistically, I just think we have a shot, and I think we've been played. Dabo, you give him any ammunition, he's going to take it, and I think he's got more than enough. So that's
Well, you hear it first there.
my YOLO of the week.
Jacob's YOLO of the week. You hear it first, guys.
Oh my God! Oh, he didn't talk about the vibes, so
No
we
vibes.
failed this entire
No, there
episode.
were no vibes this week.
No vibe, one vibe.
Not one vibe.
I won.
No vibes this week. Except maybe South Dakota State. I mean,
You don't go back now.
Well, no, he chose the money line, so that's
I know it's messing with him.
it's a vibe. All right, guys.
this is hate on Jacob's episode, so y'all go ahead and get it out. I know y'all still salty.
That's every week. What are you
last-
talking about?
Yeah.
The vibes and
vibes and don't remember your running backs and craziness over here.
I have some blanks. That's all right.
Guess we get older, man. This just happens with our age.
If y'all had the year I've had, you might have a couple blanks too. So
Fair enough. All right.
hey,
Well,
stop running for me on NCAA 25. All three of you.
I'll get on right now. Come on.
hey, you
I'm
screaming.
putting my daughter to bed. I
I
mean,
put-
at least accept the PlayStation or the invite on EAID, you cowards.
I don't even know how
I
to do
thought
that.
I accepted yours.
You did. Ryan, on the other hand, had not.
I have to give you money.
I haven't figured out how to do it.
Yeah, me either.
Technology.
It took me forever to figure it out, but I did figure it out.
God, you guys are old.
Right? That's a millennial pod right here. Show our age.
Yeah.
With that being said, guys, I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna run down through every bet, but that's probably I can do it right quick. Fuck it. So yeah, people have a record of it on their pod. We'll listen to it. All right, guys. All right, guys. 8 games. It was first game North Dakota State at Colorado. We got me taking the first half spread at 6.5. We got Jacob and Matt taking Colorado to cover at -110, and we got Ryan taking the North Dakota State money line at +330. South Dakota State at Oklahoma State. I have South Dakota State to cover at +10 at -105. Jacob Matt has South Dakota State money line at +300. And Ryan has Oklahoma State to cover at 9.5. Penn State, West Virginia. I have Penn State covering. Both me and Matt have Penn State covering at -8 at -112. Jacob has West Virginia covering at +8.5 at -110. Ryan has West Virginia first half points at -115. Miami at Florida. I have the Florida money line at +126. Jacob has the over at 54 at -110. Matt has Miami at -2.5 at -115, and Ryan has the under at 54.5. I forgot you took the under like all year last year. An under king over here.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it worked for me.
It's the vibes.
There's the
The
vibe. They got Notre Dame and Texas A&M. I took Texas A&M outright to cover at -2. That's both me and Jacob at -120. Matt took the under at 46.5 at -108. Ryan with the Notre Dame money line at +140. LSU at USC. Nick has the USC to cover at 4.5 at -109. Jacob has LSU to cover at -4.5 at -112. Matt took the over at 64.5 at -110. And Ryan took the money line at +165. BC and FSU. Nick took the over at 49.5 at -109. Jacob took FSU to cover at 15.5 at -110. Matt took BC to cover at plus 16 at minus 110. And Ryan took FSU also to cover at, I forgot, FU. I guess I meant that for Jacob. At minus 15.5 at minus 110. And the final game of the weekend, which is a 12 o'clock game, which I'm still like, why would they do that to people? And I guess it's indoor. It's a dome stadium, so I guess it's not that bad. So actually, that'll probably work well for the fans.
Oh, good dog.
Yeah, right. We got Clemson in Georgia. I took Clemson to cover at 13.5 at minus 105. Jacob to the money line at plus 470, the biggest money line of the week by far. Matt took the under 48.5 at minus 106. And Ryan took Georgia to cover to be petty at minus 115. Gentlemen, that is our week. We're here to make some moolah. Also, check out the streams. We're going to try to get these guys all logged in. We're trying to get NCAA 25 streaming going so we can get that real shit talking behind the scenes. So we can get that rolling hopefully soon. With that being said, fellas, I hope we make some money this week. Week 1, college football is back on this Labor Day weekend.
About time.
It's about time, man. But I appreciate it.
2, baby. Here y'all go.
Oh, whoa.
Gotta keep the streak alive, baby. Keep the streak alive.
I wanted to go there.
Keep the streak alive.
Who's number 10? Who's number 10?
Who's number 10?
We're number 10.
Let them know. At least
Yeah,
one more week.
yeah. Mm.
At this point, we're trying to stay in the top 25. So,
Boston College, you will not be.
We will not be. With that being said, fellas, appreciate it, guys. Let's make this money.
All right, fellas.
Sure.
All right.